Ladies and gentlemen, with every time throughout human history, whenever there is a disaster or a war or a pandemic or anything else that could be plaguing humanity, there is always a profiteer somewhere. Somebody is able to take advantage of the situation, sometimes benevolently, sometimes for more sinister purposes. Right now, the majority of the United States of America is on a form of lockdown called a quarantine. People are not able to leave their homes as freely as they once were able to. Certain freedoms are taken away and perhaps put on hold for certain times, as humanity must try to overcome a crisis in which the government mandates to us is the best way in order, to solve the situation. Now, while you're at home, there's certain companies who are going to be really doing very well and other companies which might not exist anymore. For example, we're not sure after this pandemic ends if an AMC movie theater will even exist. Most movie theaters might actually go out of business. Could you imagine a world where movies are literally no longer shown in a theater or very few theaters exist? Well, during this pandemic and crisis, people have been watching a lot of television. Now, on that television, a lot of the basic cable channels have increased in volume, but people want more from their television. People still enjoy the luxuries offered to them in the United States of America. What services are those? We're going to talk about Netflix and Roku and why Netflix is going to have the most explosive earnings, in my humble opinion, when they report next quarter. We're going to talk about a Newsbeat target of $500 as well, and we're going to discuss where I think Roku is going to go tomorrow. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I have so many great things to talk to you about here today, but first I need you to pause on the next slide, read it in its entirety, take a picture of it, get it framed, hang it up on your wall, and read it every single day for the rest of your life. Thank you for doing all that work. Man, what a pain in the butt, right? Now you have it on your wall, it's all pictured and framed. Let's talk about Netflix here. But before I talk about Netflix, we actually have to talk about Roku. Right now, after hours, Roku is gapped up $10. Roku absolutely exploded. And the beautiful thing about this is it's going to tell you a deeper story about Netflix. Roku withdrew its fiscal year 2020 guidance. It withdrew it, and they see revenues now of 307 to 317 million. That's way ahead of the 299.8 million expected. It's another 7 to 17 million. Now, you might not think that's a lot, but for Roku, it's absolutely huge. Their Q1 streaming hours are up 49%. They're basically up 50% right now. Roku estimates 39.8 million active accounts as of March 31st, 2020. 39.8 million active accounts. You have to realize as this quarantine continues, more people are likely to give in and actually sign up for the service. They have a net increase of nearly 3 million viewers since December 31st. Roku also expects first quarter streaming hours will be 13.2 billion. And again, that's the 49% year over year increase. The company says, while we believe that our offerings to consumers, content providers, and advertisers will enable our company to deliver value in these uncertain times. Yeah, believe me, they love these uncertain times. Oh, you mean you're forced to sit home and watch Roku? What are we going to do with ourselves? The wider business and consumer impacts, as well as the duration of the pandemic, are unclear, and thus we are withdrawing our prior 2020 outlook. So they came out and they said, we had a 2020 outlook, but you know what? Let's just forget we ever said that. And that's actually a smart move. You see, the majority of the time when companies do that, the company plummets. You're withdrawing your guidance. What do you have to hide? What are you not showing us? What is hiding underneath the curtains in which you do not want us to see? In this case, you have a company who's basically saying our guidance is going to be completely based on how long this coronavirus lasts. Now, not to sound like, from Family Guy, like Peter Griffin's evil twin brother, and he has the mustache and he goes, as he walks around trying to beat Peter at everything. You guys know what I'm talking about? But this company definitely wants this coronavirus to last. Not to sound like evil, but if you want to know what's best for this company, it's for this coronavirus to last a long time. But what they are not telling you is most people are going to fall in love with the service who would have never tried it without this coronavirus. And even after this coronavirus ends, which I know I made a prediction weeks ago that it was going to latest by first week of May and be on a heavy downslope. Let's all pray that I'm right. Um, again, who knows, right? But I like to be optimistic. I like to bet on humanity. I will say right now that with Roku withdrawing their guidance, they're basically saying it's going to be so out of the water that we just don't even want to make stuff up. Like, what are they going to say? Are they going to lie and give prior projections and say, we think it's going to be over here when they know the viewership is going to be here? Are they going to try to predict how long the coronavirus will last and say it's going to be up here? And then it just suddenly gets a shortfall and then they missed expectations. So they just withdrew it completely. And it is just an absolutely it's just an absolutely amazing story. They say they're accelerating new account growth. Obviously, no one's surprised by that. But here's my argument. Why Siri's talking to me? Here's my argument. I know what you guys are thinking. That's all I need is another woman telling me what to do in my life, right? Silence Siri. If I said that to my wife, I'd have a black eye. But I tell my phone whatever I want. With that being said, what do you think is going to happen to Netflix? What do you think happens to Netflix if Roku has 50% more viewership? You want to know the difference between Roku and Netflix? I would say that Netflix viewership increase might be similar. So I did a little bit of, just a little looky. And I said, Netflix is reporting April 21st after the bell. After market, on April 21st, Netflix is reporting. And their consensus is going to be $1.62 with revenue of 5.7 billion from the earnings whisper. Let me give you my earnings whisper. Nonsense. They're going to destroy that number worse than, I mean, you can insert your best analogy here. It would be like, it would be like LeBron James, like dunking a ball, like over a goldfish and shattering the rim right on top of it. So as a result, I'm going to put a Newsbeat target of $500 on Netflix. Just a little fun target that we're using. Again, this is all for educational purposes. I would never tell you to buy or sell a security. And I'm looking at calls right now into next week. I like the 470 calls in Netflix. I think Netflix's earnings are going to take it to all-time highs. Now you might say, well, Mark, what are the all-time highs on Netflix? Well, the all-time highs on Netflix are $423.21. That is going to, is Lamblast a word? Is that a real word? Like Lamblast, like Lamblast, like to lamblast something? Like the earnings are going to be lamblasted? Like, let's see. What does Google have to say? To criticize someone harshly? No, that's not what that's not I'm not criticizing it harshly. Maybe the right word is decimate. Maybe the right word is decimate. Crush accordingly. you are going to have this FANG name go to all-time highs. And nobody is even thinking that FANG names could go to all-time highs. I got a name for you that's going to all-time highs, most likely tomorrow. How about Amazon? 2185.95. After hours right now, it's at 2184.50. How about Amazon going to all-time highs? Another company that we said was going to do real well during this crisis. So besides the fact that we're 20% off the recent lows and we're officially in a bull market and we had the shortest bear market in known US stock market history, maybe there's parallel universes where there's US stock markets. But on what planet are you from if you think that we are in a bear market with Amazon hitting all-time highs? Please explain to me what planet you are from. And show me on the Hubble telescope where I can find you, so I could say that there's life on other planets. You're telling me we're in a bear market? We are not in a bear market. And I'm not just slamming the point home because, yes, I was saying I was the person that came out after March 23rd and said we're likely not going to retest the bottoms. And again, I could be 100% wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the bottoms are in. I'll say, I said it before, I'm on video saying it, I'll say it again. I think the bottom is in. I think the bottom is in. I know nobody wants to say, oh, all these companies are suffering and we won't have a V-shaped recovery. I actually spelled it out. I actually spelled out where I think we will recover to. No, I don't think the Qs are going back to all-time highs this year. Maybe next. Not this year. Even though we have a lot of time to potentially do it, and we're going to get over this coronavirus, and life, believe it or not, will go on. One thing that I have learned over my 21 years of trading, never, ever, 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 ever bet against humanity. I remember witnessing 9/11. I had photos that news stations wanted to pay me a lot of money for, and I didn't sell them because I didn't want to profiteer off of a disaster. And if any of you guys want to see the photos, I should probably pull them out. I never sold them. I'm literally taking pictures and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Is the world's coming to an end? It happened back in 2001. I was a 21-year-old pisher. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Is this world coming to an end? Like, I had no idea what was happening. And you know what? I saw the market go into like crash and depression. And that was like it. Like, that's it. We're never going to come back. We're never, ever, ever going to come back from that scenario. It is absolutely impossible after 2001 that we will come back. And right here is 2001, ladies and gentlemen, this bar right here. What happened? Took a little time. And then, whoop, we come right back up. I'll spell it out for you further, for those who don't think we're in a bull market. I'll spell it out for you a little further. If the triple Qs, ladies and gentlemen, if the triple Qs go up above 212.61, or $8 more from where we are currently after hours, we are officially trading higher than where we were in the beginning of the year. I know it's so hard to believe that when you pump trillions of dollars into the market, and you pump it and pump it, it's like it's almost like the Simpsons video game after the first stage and you blow up the balloons and then you float away. Yeah, all right, I'm the video game nerd. We're in a bull market. Explain to me how Amazon can be at all-time highs in a bear market. Explain that to me. Please, because I'm all ears. Believe me, underneath this headset, see? I'm all ears. Explain it to me. You can, because we're not. And if you're using the official definition of it, we are in a bull market. Mark, does that mean we're never going to have a down day ever again? No captain criticizing. No captain of criticizing thoughts. We are going to have down days again, but we are in a bull market by definition. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. 100% fact if you're going through the definition of what a bull and bear market is. Now, does it feel like we're in a bull market today? Yes. Today, I would say, was the first day that it actually felt like if you didn't show me today's date and you said, Mark, it's November of 2019, I would have been like, yeah, that's about right. The little grind up on the Qs. playing Netflix a little long today. I tried a little Netflix to the long side. I tried a little Tesla to the long side. How did you guys like the video on Tesla yesterday? But I will tell you right now, Netflix is one of the stocks that are not at all-time highs, that in my opinion will be by next week late. Oh, you want to know time frame? Uh, what's today? Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. By next Wednesday's close, let's call it April 21st, between now, today, this second, and April 21st, 2020, I humbly believe Netflix will have tested and broke the all-time highs. Not only that, I'm putting a $500 target on it. Just for fun, educational purposes, right? Now, where is Roku going to go? Now, again, if Roku's doing well, Netflix is going to do phenomenally well. It's like one of those situations where it's like, imagine that. What's a good analogy? What's a good analogy? It's almost like everyone knows McDonald's is better than Burger King. If you disagree with that statement, I'm sorry. That's as close as an opinion could turn into a fact, that McDonald's just better than Burger King. It's like, imagine Burger King sales are doing really well. What do you think McDonald's, how their sales are going to do? So, this is actually a more dramatic thing. It's almost like Roku would be like a local mom and pop burger joint versus McDonald's. A local mom and pop burger joint in an unpopulated area. If Roku is doing well, what do you think is going to happen with Netflix, which breached $400 today? What do you think is going to happen with Amazon in this supposedly bear market, which it's not an opinion. We are not in a bear market by definition. Where do you think Amazon is going to go? So unlike everyone else on Wall Street who's always like, we're going to retest the lows, and they give no time frame on it, and how about we retest the highs next year, or 18 months? That would be by late next year. We could retest the highs if everything goes status quo, considering we're not attacked by, God forbid, anything like this again between now and then. So what do you need to watch for Roku and Netflix tomorrow? Well, tomorrow on Roku, you need to watch $105.30, and you also need to watch $110.45 for simple trigger breakouts on Roku. There is no reason right now, I'm going to say it right now, because I put in the thing, you're like, Mark, what's your price target on Roku? $200. Mark, that's like over twice as high as where it's trading at. Yes. Are you telling me that in September 2019, when Roku was at $176.55, are you telling me between September of last year and now, what has changed with Roku? With the exception that 50% more viewing hours are happening, and they're opening up new accounts faster than they can insert something you do very quickly here. And if you think they're doing well, Netflix is doing well. Netflix, Roku became a very important service for people. Hulu, Disney Plus. The only problem with Hulu is Disney owns most of it, and Disney also owns theme parks, so it's not a pure streaming play. Netflix and Roku are pure plays. You buy Netflix, you're buying streaming. You buy Roku, you're buying streaming. You buy Disney, you're also buying streaming. You buy Google, you're also buying streaming. Big difference. These are the pure plays. And with people sitting at home on their phones, ordering crap from Amazon, watching TV, that is why you have names like Netflix and Amazon at and near all-time highs. So you're telling me that this little garbage Roku shouldn't be at all-time highs, and I say garbage endearingly. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. I will tell you right now, Roku is an $11.5 billion company. You're telling me it can't be worth 22 billion, which would bring it over $200? You're telling me that's the farthest stretch of the imagination ever to be valued around 22 billion? Are you kidding me? Take a look at Netflix. Netflix is 174 billion. You tell me Roku can't be worth 22 billion dollars? That's just unimaginable, Mark. Here are tomorrow's algo levels today. And um, you know, see what happens tomorrow. Have a lot of great stuff, a lot of great names. I've been focusing more on the bigger names today, like the Netflixes and the Teslas and the Amazons, and they've all just been exploding. And we've been doing it. People with very small accounts have been playing this. I mean, we bought some Tesla calls today that were what, $3? So imagine if you had a small, I'll make it up, $2,000 account, and you buy 3 calls of Tesla for $900. Those Tesla calls went to like what, 11, 12, $13, and I don't even know what they're going to be worth tomorrow if you held them. This Tesla exploded up right now. Yes, you could trade the thickest names on Wall Street with the smallest accounts. Do not fool yourself otherwise. Of course, if you wanted to, I would never legally tell you to buy or sell a security. I also, from the bottom of my heart, wanted to thank you guys for donating to T3's 100% charitable cause over the weekend to fight COVID-19, because it's viewers like you that make this world a better place to live in. It's traders like you that step up during the hardest of times for all people and humanities and give to the dozens of charities in which we've donated to here at T3 Live and in the Newsbeat Live Room. And of course, it's viewers like you that make the Newsbeat Live Room T3 Live's #1 trading room destination. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful and safe evening.